This one's kind of tricky. Most people are going to look at this and just say, oh, it's just different phrasings of the same kind of words and ideas, so we just need to pick the one that sounds the best. This is a style question. Let's just listen for the best sounding answer. It's not a style question. We can predict the question here, but it's going to take some effort. The choices aren't really going to help us predict it. What's going to help us is this part here, approaching a doorway in which dangles a red envelope filled with green paper money. Just seems like a regular kind of clause, but it has a special name. And on the SAT, when we are testing modifiers, we have certain rules that we need to follow. A modifier is basically a clause, an extra clause, that gives us extra information. It talks about something, it leads into something, sometimes it closes out a sentence, but the point is it's describing something. Now, when we have a modifier at the beginning of a sentence, we need to make sure that we are following the modifier with whatever the modifier is talking about. So one way we can approach this is to turn the modifier into like a question. What was approaching a doorway in which dangles a red envelope filled with green paper money? What was approaching the doorway? Right? That's my question. What was approaching? The answer to that question has to be the first thing after that comma, right there. Now, if we look at choice A, it seems like it's making sense, right? The lion is approaching. The problem is that it's not really the lion that they're talking about in choice A. They're talking about the teeth. Whoa, they're talking about the teeth. So that's an issue because we're not really saying that the teeth are approaching the doorway. We're trying to say that the whole lion is approaching, right? That's what they're trying to say. So this is a way that the SAT tries to trap us, is especially on modifier questions, they use apostrophes to kind of distract us from the main topic of what we're talking about. Compare that to B, where it just kind of says, the lion. This is saying what we needed to say. What was approaching the doorway? The lion was. The lion needs to be the first thing, not the lion's teeth, just the lion as a whole. Now, in C and D, we have similar problems, and I think it's more obvious that these are wrong, right? The envelope is snared by the lion with its teeth. That also sounds a little backwards, so that's wrong, and then the teeth of the lion snare the envelope. Honestly, I don't know that that sounds particularly bad, but it's the case where if we know this rule, we're not even really considering the other answers. Basically, because of the first three words, we know that they don't accomplish the goal of the rule, right? So that's why knowing the rules and being able to recognize when they're being tested, being able to predict the question, that's why those skills are so helpful, as they get our brain thinking along the right path. If we're thinking about the rule and we're just looking for a choice that starts with the lion, we answer this question in like 3 seconds. If we don't notice that, we're kind of reading and rereading the sentence and trying out the choices, and we're kind of maybe vaguely picking the one that sounds best without being certain of it. If I know the rule, I'm certain. It's hard to recognize that they're testing this rule. So practice, and this is what, this is called a modifier. It's something that you can practice. I think Khan Academy has a whole exercise on these, so hopefully that can help you just kind of notice the pattern of the questions. That way, if they come up, you can recognize it more easily and get your brain on that right path.